It was only a matter of time before the NBA said enough is enough. This should have happened years ago.
NBA owners are furious as they watch their investment go further in the red, with a staggering $40 million loss projected for 2024, one of the largest losses in history, and the league's financial future hanging by a thread despite record-breaking viewership and the Caitlin Clark effect.
Yes, and it's also the twofold part of it is this is a league that's historically lost the NBA money and lost everyone money that's a part of it. That's why salaries are low.
However, before we break it down, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready to go? The players themselves are also on the verge of revolting and opting out of their collective bargaining agreement. If a new deal isn't reached by the end of 2025, there might not even be a 2026 season. Is this the beginning of the end for women's professional basketball in America?
When you're investing millions and millions of dollars into a dump, and not once have you seen a return on that investment, not once have you received a dividend.
The foundation of women's professional basketball in America is being shaken by a paradox. On the one hand, we've witnessed record-breaking attendance, crowded arenas, and a spike in item sales. The WNBA recently had its most-watched season ever, so why are NBA owners furious? The WNBA is predicted to lose an astounding $40 million in the 2024 season, despite the league's apparent success. This isn't just a small setback, it's one of the largest losses in the league's history, and while it's actually an improvement over earlier forecasts that estimated a $50 million loss, it's still a figure that has NBA owners furious. To understand why this matters so much, we must examine the intricate ownership structure of the WNBA. The NBA owns approximately 60% of the women's league. When you factor in the stakes held by individual NBA team owners, that number jumps to about 75%. This means that every dollar lost by the WNBA is felt directly in the pockets of NBA executives and team owners.
Even with the Caitlin Clark uptick in business, and it was significant, it did not matter. The WNBA is set to lose $40 million this season for this prior season, and NBA investors are actually starting to get irritated.
It is evident that these investors are frustrated. The WNBA owes the NBA so much that we won't see any benefit for years, according to one NBA franchise official. This opinion expresses rising frustration with the league's failure to convert popularity into profit. But how did we get here? For years, the WNBA has been losing money, with deficits of at least $10 million throughout certain seasons. There has always been hope that more investment would eventually result in profitability, but as the losses pile up year after year for nearly 30 years, the hope for a bright future appears to be fading. The projected loss of $40 million in 2024 is especially concerning because it occurs at a time when the league should be prospering with a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Many people thought that Caitlin Clark's extraordinary popularity would be the game's turning point, but instead it serves as a stark reminder of the gap between female athletes' financial success and their level of popularity.
The way they treated Caitlin Clark, and we know the way a lot of these players have talked so badly about the new fans that have come in. Well, the new fans are what's going to make you money. So if you continue to talk badly about them, they're going to get fed up and they're going to not watch.
Even though the WNBA is working to increase revenue by extending the regular season and playoff schedule, NBA owners are skeptical of these initiatives because the losses are still mounting and there could be serious repercussions. The WNBA's long-term survival has come under scrutiny from some NBA owners, and there is mounting conjecture that the league may face an unimaginable closure if its financial status doesn't drastically improve soon. The financial crisis places a great deal of strain on all parties involved, with league executives frantically trying to find new sources of income and reduce expenses. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all alerts. Players are watching with anxiety, knowing that their futures are on the line, while fans are left wondering if the WNBA will survive or fail. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, but let's get back to the action.
Some owners want more transparency from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver about when they get to see some return on the suddenly popular WNBA.
The WNBA players, refusing to stand by and watch their own downfall, have taken a bold step that could change the course of women's basketball in the midst of the financial crisis. The WNBA Players Association has put themselves in a difficult position by opting out of their collective bargaining agreement by the November 1st deadline. This isn't just a negotiation tactic. It's a potential game changer that could change the landscape of women's professional basketball in America. With this audacious move, the players have signaled that they're no longer willing to accept the status quo, even if it means risking their careers. What motivates these athletes to risk everything, and how far are they willing to go to secure their place in the sport?
They are opting out of the current collective bargaining agreement in order to negotiate one for down the road, a more lucrative CBA for the players.
If the league's players are unable to come to a new agreement by the end of 2025, the 2026 season may be in grave danger. The ramifications of this choice are extensive and might be disastrous. Imagine a summer without the electrifying atmosphere as Aaliyah Boston dominates the paint or the thunderous roar of the crowd as Caitlin Clark sinks a three-pointer. The idea of this high-stakes wager sends shockwaves through the basketball community, but what's driving it is the players' demands, which reflect a growing frustration with the disconnect between the league's soaring popularity and their own financial realities. They're calling for better working conditions, higher salaries, and a more equitable share of the revenue generated by their performances. It serves as a stark reminder that, despite the surge in viewership and attendance, the players themselves haven't seen a proportionate increase in their compensation. The league, however, finds itself in a precarious position with projected losses of $40 million in 2024. WNBA. Executives claim that drastic pay increases are just not possible and cite the lengthened regular season and playoff schedule as proof of their dedication to expansion, but many players feel that these small adjustments are insufficient.
Players Association announced Monday that the players are seeking, quote, a business model that reflects their true value, encompassing higher salaries, enhanced professional working conditions, expanded health benefits, and crucial investments needed for long-term growth.
Given the 1996 U.S. women's national soccer team strike, which cleared the path for better conditions in women's soccer, historical precedents indicate that player strikes can result in major change. Could the WNBA be about to experience a similar watershed moment as tensions rise? The players' union and league officials will intensify their negotiations in the upcoming months, with both parties keenly aware of the players' interests. As they balance the possible advantages of a new contract against the dangers of a drawn-out battle for the league, unity will be put to the test. It's a delicate balancing act between resolving player concerns and preserving financial stability while negotiations are still ongoing. Every eye looked to an unanticipated savior. A worrying question lies beneath the surface of this seeming triumph. Has the Caitlin Clark effect driven the WNBA to a breaking point from which it cannot recover? Caitlin Clark's rookie season ignited a revolution in viewing and attendance.
And by you hit the nail on the head. It keeps the salaries low.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, if you want to talk lockout or potential lockout, potential strike, the only player that matters here is Caitlin Clark. And if she wants to sit out on behalf of the WNBA PA, well, they're going to have to do a lot more to stand up for her than what they've done.
The figures demonstrate an unparalleled level of success. Clark's debut season was nothing short of historic, breaking 62 records and redefining expectations for rookies. He also established WNBA marks most assists in a single season and in a game, but his influence went far beyond individual honors. The Indiana Fever, who had previously struggled to fill seats, were suddenly at the center of a basketball ball renaissance. Throughout the season, over 600,000 fans attended Fever games, a startling increase that made the team's home court one of the league's most electrifying venues. This increase in attendance wasn't limited to Indiana. Fans anxious to see the phenomenon firsthand flocked to stadiums throughout the nation when Clark was on the court, forcing some opponents to reserve larger venues whenever the Fever was in town.
And the Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history.
Clarkonomics, my friend.
Regular season games averaged 1.2 million people, a huge increase from the 440,000 viewers of the previous year, as television ratings reached all-time highs. For a moment, it seemed as though the WNBA had found its golden ticket to mainstream success, when Clark's ability to captivate audiences and attract casual fans into the world of women's basketball seemed to herald a new era for the league. However, as the spotlight intensified, so did the challenges facing the WNBA. The Caitlin Clark effect, while unquestionably positive in many aspects, unintentionally exposed and exacerbated existing issues within the league. The surge in popularity brought increased scrutiny, and not all of it positively. Clark and other athletes saw a flurry of online abuse, including threats and racist remarks.